good morning, good morning. Hey, everybody, what's up? Come on in the virtual room. Come on into the Brownstone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's your girl, Paulette. I am the owner and founder of BrownstoneWorldwide.com, and boy, do we have some topics today. Welcome once again to the day shift. And where do I begin? We have so much to cover. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. First of all, we got a lot of stuff to cover today. So let's get right into it. First things first, if you are currently watching, let us know. Thank you so much for catching this air. If you are watching the replay, go ahead and type into the chat replay so you are recognized and that we know that you came and hung out with us even after we've left. So good morning, good morning, good morning. Let's get right into it. So you guys know the very first thing that I like to do is I like to bring Alan Edwards over from KCCR Radio, the Brownstone, and get the news and information that you can use. Don't forget that you can actually check us out on KCCR, the Brownstone. And all you have to do is go to kccrthebrownstone.com. I'm going to go ahead and share that at the bottom of my screen here. Y'all come on in this room. I'm going to go on ahead and get this party started because we got stuff to cover today. We're going to be talking about some things that happened last night during Girl Your Money Matters with the Nicole Johnson. We're going to be talking about the topics that you're going to see on brownstoneworldwide.com. Guess what, folks? We literally have a new magazine that is coming out, and we want you to get your hands on it for the month of December and going forward. So we want to share that with you a little bit later on during the show. We actually introduced it last night. And so what I want you guys to do is to go ahead and get ready. We're going to get into our news. And when I come back, we're going to jump right into our first topics of the day. Are you all ready for this? I'm ready for this. I'm absolutely ready for this. You ready? Here we go. Check this out along the way.
Evangelical Christian web designer who against a claim that freedom of speech exempts artists from anti-discrimination laws.
The justices heard more than 2 hours of spirited arguments in Denver area business owner Lori Smith's appeal, seeking an exemption from a Colorado law that bars discrimination based on sexual orientation and other factors. Lower courts ruled in favor of Colorado.
Protesters in Iran called for a 3-day strike this week, stepping up pressure on authorities after the public prosecutor said the morality police, whose detention of a young woman triggered months of protest, has been shut down.
There was no confirmation of the closure from the Interior Ministry, which is in charge of the morality police, and Iranian state media said public prosecutor Mohammad Jafar Montazeri was not responsible for overseeing the force. Hundreds of people have been killed in the unrest which erupted in September after the death in custody of Mahsa Amini.
President Volodymyr Zelensky urged Ukrainians to be patient and strong in resisting the rigorous winter as officials pressed up its efforts to restore power and other services knocked out by Russian airstrikes.
Russia has been pounding Ukraine's power infrastructure since early October, causing blackouts and leaving millions without heating as temperatures plummet. To get through this winter, we must be even more resilient and even more united than ever, Zelensky said in his nightly address.
The British Defense Ministry, which has provided intelligence updates throughout the war in Ukraine, said that public support for the conflict is falling significantly in Russia.
Recent polling suggests that Russian public support for the special military operation is falling significantly, the British Defense Ministry said in a statement. The British Defense Ministry cited data obtained by an independent Russian media outlet, which claimed it had access to data collected by Russia's Federal Protective Service for internal use. Davis Richards reporting.
This is the latest news headlines. Mainland China's COVID-19 cases are easing from a record high 7 days ago, though the nation where the virus originated nearly 3 years ago reported 2 additional fatalities. Worldwide infections rose 3%, the first increase in a few weeks, though fatalities were down 12% according to worldometers.info. The deaths are among the lowest since March 21st, 2020, 10 days after the World Health Organization declared COVID-19 a pandemic. An Atlanta house fire killed 2 people over the weekend, and the National Transportation Safety Board is investigating, the agency announced. The fire involved natural gas, according to a tweet from the NTSB. which investigates pipeline mishaps. A fire department statement said the crews responded to a northwest Atlanta home around 8:30 a.m. on December 3rd, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution reported. Atlanta Fire Department officials said a gas leak was found in the front yard after crews extinguished the heavy blaze. Jurors in the capital murder trial of a former U.S. Border Patrol agent have heard taped interviews in which he confessed the 2018 killings of 4 sex workers in South Texas. If convicted of capital murder, 39-year-old Juan Davis Ortiz faces life in prison without parole because prosecutors are not seeking the death penalty. The trial started on November 28th and continued on Monday. Ortiz, a Navy veteran, was a Border Patrol intelligence supervisor at the time of his arrest in September 2018. FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried tweeted that he would testify before the House Financial Services Committee after he finished learning and reviewing the events that led to the spectacular collapse of his cryptocurrency exchange. The U.S. House Financial Service Committee plans to hold a hearing in December to investigate the collapse of FTX and expects to hear from the companies and individuals involved, including founder and CEO Bankman-Fried. And that's the latest news headlines. I'm Alan Edwards.
All right, you guys. Thanks so much for hanging out with us today. Once again, that was Alan Edwards, part of KCCR, the Brownstone, and all of our support staff. I can't believe I'm actually saying that. So big shout out to them. And also big shout out to Jonathan Bell, who has joined the fold as one of our editing writers over at brownstoneworldwide.com. So I'm going to encourage you guys to head over there when you have some time and get the news and information that you can use throughout your day. Now, something else that I want to go over with you guys are a couple of things that we're going to be discussing today. This is some really interesting stuff. And you guys, first of all, big shout out to the Nicole Johnson of Girl Your Money Matters last night. And shout out to all of the guest hosts who came onto the show last night and showed her some love. It was an amazing show. We talked about something that we don't talk about in the Black community much at all. And that is talking about depression, seasonal depression. And she gave a wonderful disclaimer indicating that she's not a medical professional, but learning what we know about that particular situation in our communities. It's taboo. We don't talk about it. And more of us are becoming open about going to therapy, getting the emotional support that we need outside of friends, our church, and our family. You can actually check out the replay today on KCCR Radio. If you go ahead and download the app at 1:30 this afternoon. And also the replay will re-air today, this afternoon. We're going to go ahead and share that on Facebook pages, Brownstone Worldwide, Brownstone Living, and Brownstone Living and Essentials. And if you're not a part of our Facebook groups, go ahead and join that as well. They are Brownstone's Best and also the Corner Family. You don't want to miss all the conversation that's going on in there and some of the things that we're starting to bring and come down the pipe with. You don't want to miss that. Okay, so let's do some birthday shout outs, which I always really like to do because first of all, people like to hear their name being called out. Okay. Number two, the other reason is because it is just one of those things, because we want to make sure that we are giving people some love and that they're being recognized. So shout out to Markel Johnson. Happy birthday to you today. Micah Gillum. Happy birthday to you today. Chili Hollis. James Odom. Happy birthday to you. Vladimir Berry. Shout out to you. Regina Jones. Happy birthday. Ashley Pierre, happy birthday to you. And Dora Nelson. Big shout out to Miss Kofi Williams, who the beautiful sister who is actually, she is a life coach. I've been following this sister since she had her blogger blog, and she had the most amazing locks, and she helped a lot of us when we were going through our natural transition actually make the full jump. And she's recently cut her hair about 2 or 3 years ago. Okay. And so, but she's still the same beautiful spirit, and you can definitely go ahead and check her out on her Facebook and Instagram and TikTok platforms. And that's Kofi Williams, Kofi. Wonderful, amazing sister. So big shout out to all of you guys who have birthdays today. All right. Now, what we're going to be doing, here's what I need you to do. If you know that your birthday is coming up, you know that you give somebody some love. What I definitely want to do is to provide to you all an opportunity to have your, to have your birthday shout outs provided. Okay. So we can definitely do that. Here's what I need you to do. I need you to go ahead and send us an email and let us know what you would like to have or who you want to shout out. Okay. So here we go. Contact at thebrownstonesound.com. Contact at thebrownstonesound.com is where you need to go. Good morning. Thank you so much for the love, you guys. Go ahead and like, comment, and share on this particular broadcast this morning. So again, if you want your birthday shout outs, if you have some announcements in your community, no matter where you are, if it's a public service announcement, we got you. Okay. I do know that we have some interviews that are coming up with some of you guys who are local in your communities, and you're doing some things and helping to bring your communities together. I definitely want to make sure that you guys are being kept in the know on what that looks like. So that is one. So definitely go ahead and check out what we have going on at brownstoneworldwide.com right now. A couple of things that I want you guys to be made aware of, and we've got some new content up. So let's talk about some of the content or what we saw yesterday that came down the pipe. I definitely wanted to talk about this. And I don't want to spend a lot of time on it because you make your bed, you lie in it. A friend of mine, his name is Darwin Ronan. We called him Andy from St. Thomas, used to say that to me all the time. So ABC's new president, Kim Godwin, has actually taken TJ Holmes and Amy Robach off the air. Okay. Good Morning America 3 anchors Amy Robach and TJ Holmes were taken off the air amid their bombshell affair scandal. They found out upon arriving at the studio yesterday morning. So you come to work and you find out that you are being pulled off of the air. So Kim Godwin, who is the ABC News president, she actually announced on Monday during an internal call that the pair would not be hosting their daily 1 p.m. show. So Godwin told staffers on the call that the alleged affair had become too much of an internal and external distraction, and that while their alleged affair was not a violation of company policy, the decision to take them out of their anchor chairs was necessary for the GMA brand. So GMA 3 will be hosted by Stephanie Ramos and Gio Benitez this week, while the network continues to have internal meetings and talk about how they're actually going to be handling the scandal. So here's one of the things that you definitely want to make sure that you're doing when you are at work. Do not dabble in the waters at work. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you so much for joining. Listen, I can't say that enough, but this is really unfortunate that this has happened. They have impacted more than just themselves by doing this. Of course, it was going to go public. They're public figures. No matter how you cut that cake, that's who you are. And for some of the things, yes, it gets messy. Thank you so much, Peach Love Soul. I appreciate that. It does. It gets messy. One of the things that I don't like about this entire situation is how public it is. Right. And there was actually a snippet of them the day that it came out where they actually were doing the show, and you could see the awkwardness that was actually on camera live. And so for Miss Godwin, who is, again, is head of ABC right now, and she's new, right? So her job is on the line. So what this has done is this has put a spotlight on people within the ABC corporate community, the decision makers behind the scenes. And you messing with people's money, you messing with sponsorships, you messing with all of that. Okay, because if this is supposed to be a family show, if this is supposed to be that platform where there is a specific image or brand that you are trying to exude to the public and to continue to draw people in, listen, that is not the look that they're going for. And I understand that we all have our personal lives and things of that nature. Leave your stuff at home and make it your business not to bring your stuff into your workplace, because it can impact your workplace. It can get to human resources and become an issue. Okay, I've seen it time and time again as a human resource professional myself. I have seen how your personal life can ooze right into what you're doing, especially when you start fraternizing and hanging out too close with some of your coworkers, right? I know at some companies they have it where subordinates and leadership cannot fraternize together on a personal level, right? Because it could impact all kinds of things like favoritism and what kind of work that you're going to do. And are you using that to move up? And so we have to really, really be careful and look at the totality of what these two were doing. Now, I was actually scrolling through and I saw some posts this morning that was really interesting. Good morning. Good morning. Y'all go on ahead and like, comment, and share. And let me know what you think in the comments. If you are on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, if you're on LinkedIn, let me know what your thoughts are on this. Now, we can sit here and we can say all day long. Listen. We could sit here all day long and we could say that's their business. But you represent a brand. Now, unless, of course, that's your brand and you built it from the ground up and you bootstrapped and you did all of the things, you can do what you want to do. But you have to be careful in these streets. Now, I don't know if Mr. TJ's mom and daddy ever had that conversation, or his auntie or somebody had that conversation with him. But one of the things that I was taught early was how you carry yourself in public is an example of the root from which you came from. Right. So I always tell my children, you represent me when you out here in these streets, right? Because good morning, Ro. How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. So again, all I can say is from this perspective, when we're talking about these two losing their jobs, they didn't lose their jobs technically, right? But now there's going to be some things that we need to pay attention to. And I noticed that a couple of people in the comments were saying things like, she'll start working before he does. Anybody see any truth in that? We've seen this before, maybe not on the big stage like this, but we know what happens. We know what happens. She'll walk away unscathed. And it's going to be a challenge. It is going to be a complete challenge for them to come back to terms with this. What does that look like on the back end for their families and for their spouses? This is an absolute mess. And sometimes you got to just be hot and bothered. You got to find something else to do with your time rather than going public with something like this. Now, there's nothing wrong with loving who you love. Don't get me wrong. But we have to always remember that when we are making decisions like that, where other people really are involved, you got to be careful out here in these streets, not just the internet streets, but the real world. I don't know what movie credits they thought were going to start rolling at the end of this particular scenario. I don't know what they thought. But unfortunately, GMA3 is going to have some new hosts. Now, what this means is the two individuals who are replacing them for this week, this is an opportunity that they are not going to let slide. Okay? And then here's the thing. Let's say, for instance, they don't bring them back and they say, no, we're going to go ahead and forego this because, because see, here's what's happening. Legal is somewhere trying to find a clause in their contract to see where they violated a policy. Trust me. So that they don't have to bring them back. Okay? And if they find a loophole where they impacted the business, they will be out. I have seen it happen. I have seen it happen in my career, not my career personally, but with some of the things that I have done working in employee relations and also with human resources over the years. I have seen it happen. I have seen it happen when I worked in radio full time. And unfortunately, I was the one that had to bang the gavel because you're not going to impact the business or the brand. It was not personal. It was really for the brand. And it was the hardest decision I had to make. But somebody was looking at me saying, why didn't you have that under control? Does that make sense? And because of that, it was, since you didn't have it under control, if you don't get it under control, that's your ass. Okay? And so decisions had to be made. And unfortunately, it was someone that I was really, really cool with. But when you're making mistakes and decisions based on your feelings, your emotions, and you're not thinking about see, this is where we get messed up. And I say this a lot. And I used to say this a lot when I was working full time in corporate. And I would tell this to all of our new hires. Get out your feelings. This is not personal. This is a business. And if you continue to work in that capacity, you're going to get along a lot farther, right? And you'll also be able to keep a stable head in some of the decisions that you make. It is not personal. It's not. Another thing that I've learned being a business owner is that this beast right here, brownstoneworldwide.com, Brownstone Worldwide and all of its faculties, y'all, it eats every day, whether I generate revenue or not. You follow what I'm saying? So I cannot, in my right mind, allow anything to come in here, from an air personality to possibly a contact or whatever, or an article, which literally Jonathan understands that you're just a contributing writer, and you have to be sure that you are doing what you need to do to handle your business. And the hard part is we have to be sure that we are doing everything that we can to keep our business on the up and up. Especially as small business owners, as growing businesses, we have to be careful how we handle ourselves. Okay. I really, really hate that it is the way that it is. But it's the bed that they made. Does that make sense? It's the bed that they made. And unfortunately, it is what it is. So, I have no other words except you have to be careful when you are out here in these streets and you making decisions based on your feelings and your emotions and your hormones. Okay. Keep a level head whenever you're doing things, because one thing, like I said, business still has to run. There are people that are connected to this. Do you understand for one moment what that is going to do for sponsorships, for advertisers, for people that want to have a space there, and then they see something like that and it's allowed, and they're continued to keep their positions? Nah, let's go on ahead and pull that. We need to go on ahead and reevaluate what our relationship with XYZ is going to be, right? And so those are the things that we have to continue to keep thinking about, because those are factors. This is bigger than just somebody hopping in the bed. It really, really is. It really is. So there you go. That's my thought. That's my 2 cents. And I literally am going to continue to keep holding on to that, because honestly, at the end of the day, that's what it is. All right. So we're going to move on, and we're going to start talking about some other things that are happening here in the Brownstone. Y'all ready for this? This is the first one. I'm going to leave the last one for right before I leave, because what I just talked about, that was a lot. But I need you all to keep your thinking caps on when you're talking about business. So one of the other hot topics yesterday and this morning that I saw was, first of all, rest in peace to Kirstie Alley. Okay. She was the actress that was on Cheers for years, and she was super slim. And then all of a sudden she gained a bunch of weight, and then all of a sudden she got sick. So she passed away yesterday at the age of 71 from cancer. So rest in peace to her. Okay. Now, there are going to be a couple of other things as we continue to move along that I'll be sharing with you all. But I definitely want you guys to know that we have within our reach. And I don't know what the heck is happening here. I'm losing my connection, and I'm not sure why, but that's okay. We're going to continue to keep moving, and I'll re-air this a little bit later. So let me share with you what we got going on. So beginning December 14th, the 12 Days of Christmas Storytime with Brownstone Worldwide will begin to air. We're going to stream that on Facebook, YouTube, and KCCR, the Brownstone, the app. Go ahead and download the Brownstone app and listen in. Most definitely keep in touch with us on a regular basis right now on KCCR Radio. The app itself, you are able to hear. Literally, I can pull it up and I can tell you guys what's airing right now. One More Sleep, Leona Lewis is playing. Up next is, let's see, Donny Hathaway with This Christmas. That is actually going to be airing a little bit later. Please understand that eventually, we are going to be phasing out of our music, and we are going to be doing more talk. That's going to start happening in Q1 of 2023. So be on the lookout and listen for that. And also, please make sure that if you're interested, you can always head on over to brownstoneworldwide.com and let us know if you want to be a part of the podcast shows that we are seeking in 2023. We have about 20 spaces that are available, and we don't even have 20. So let me stop that lie. We have 14. Okay. So people are starting to reach out and let us know that they are interested in what we have in terms of that. So let's see. Something else that I wanted to share with you guys, but let's get back into some news and information that you can use, because one of the things that I wanted to talk to you guys about here is, hang on, good morning to all of those of you all who are joining us. Hang on just a second. Okay, so y'all, I gotta talk about this. You ready? Did y'all see Girl Your Money Matters last night? You didn't see it? Okay. So if you didn't see it, that's okay, because what I'm going to be doing is I am going to be re-airing it later on today on Brownstone Worldwide. You can go ahead and check out the replay now at brownstoneworldwide.com, BWTV. And it is actually the very first, actually to be the second, because I'm actually broadcasting now live over there. Okay. So make sure that you check it out. We talked about, we had a special guest, or Nicole did, and I was a host as well. I was co-hosting, if you will, kind of watch to the background or whatever. So it was me, it was Nicole, it was Tony Sanchez, DJ Tony Sanchez. Shout out to him. We had Bridget, who is one of our good friends. And then we also had Leanne that joined us last night. And we had an in-depth discussion about seasonal depression. Okay. So go ahead and check out the outtakes. We'll be sharing those throughout the day. And then also go ahead and check out the replay. We'll also be re-airing it, scheduling it to re-air at 1:30 this afternoon on KCCR Radio. You can go ahead and download the app or listen in at kccrthebrownstone.com. Or you can just watch the video directly at Brownstone Worldwide on Facebook, and also Brownstone Living. So be on the lookout for that. Now, one of the things that I posted yesterday that I think we need to talk about, and I'm going to ask this question as one of our hot topics today. Hang on just a second, because what I want to make sure that we do, see, technical things do not bother me. Okay. I am here for all of it. All right. So hang on just a second. I am getting ready to share. Yep. I'm still live over there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to share our broadcast with our other platforms. Hang on just a second. Just a second. So here we go. Don't you hate when that happens? That's okay, because here's what we're going to do. We're going to keep it moving. We'll use this as an opportunity to, there we go. I'll go ahead and put it right back so we could continue to keep moving, because unfortunately technical things happen. And what do you do when technical things happen? You keep it moving. All righty. So again, how do you keep in touch with us here in the Brownstone? Go to brownstoneworldwide.com. There's news and information that you can use. There's also tips, topics, and talk, from recipes to lifestyle changes to health to fitness. All of the things are available on brownstoneworldwide.com. So you definitely want to make sure that you are taking advantage of that. If you are not a part of our Facebook group, it's called Brownstone's Best. I am over there as well. And then we also have our private group. You actually have to get an invite for this one. Okay. And this private group is also watching us right now, live in the Brownstone studios. Y'all see my little grand piano back there? Child, let me tell you something. Listen, it's so much stuff that's happening in terms of virtual reality. It would not surprise me if I would be able to walk through here eventually and go and sit on the couch. I would totally flip out. All right. Okay. So let's get back into news and information that you can use. I think it is super, super, super important for us to continue to have these serious conversations about what is happening in the news. So bear with me just a second. I'm going to go ahead and pull up. So yeah, we talked about that. We talked about church. Oh, we did. We talked about that. Let's talk about the thing that we don't want to talk about. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and I just minimized my screen. Not the right thing to do. So, y'all, one of the things that's happening right now is the final day to vote in the Georgia Senate runoff. And I'm typing this up so I can put this in here for y'all. Is today. There are 7 million registered voters in the state of Georgia. 3 million have voted. Okay? 3 million of us have voted. If you have not taken the opportunity, if you're in the state of Georgia, go ahead and vote today. Own today. Okay? That's what we need you to do. We need you to go ahead and vote. It is imperative that we keep some things in position, because ultimately we already know that one of the candidates is actually just a puppet, and they will be told what to vote for, what to do, what to say yes to, what to say nay to. Okay. And we need to make sure this is the last Senate seat. Whether or not we lose that balance of power is going to depend on how we vote today in the state of Georgia. Okay. So again, the final day to vote in Georgia Senate runoff is today. Warnock versus Walker. Okay. I need you guys to get on your game, and let's stay in touch later on this afternoon or this evening and find out how we're doing. Okay. So get out, get in line, get out and get in line. That's all I need you all to do. And let's stay in control of the Senate. Okay. All right. Now, the last thing that we wanted to talk about today was something that I saw on TikTok. And it's a trip. And it's called Hospice Care Wife. I have never heard of this term until I went over to TikTok and I was hanging out. And when you get in those TikTok streets and you get to scrolling and you get to see all of the stuff, you're like, well, wait a daggone minute. What is going on? What's happening? What is happening? Okay. So what I'm going to do, rather than get into full detail about what a hospice care wife is, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it open, and we're going to have a total conversation about it online together today, so we can discuss it further and what that is. Okay. Because I was really, really surprised about how some people are talking about it. And it's so funny. What I'm going to leave you with is this, is that a hospice care wife is a woman who ends up marrying someone because they need someone, one, to take care of them. They need someone to take care of them in their old age. They don't have anybody else. And so they give them the promise of the ring, because they know that that's what a lot of women are looking for. And they give them the promise of the ring. So I want to talk about that and hear from you, the audience of the Brownstone, and hear what you all have to say about that. So be on the lookout for that later on this afternoon. Because I was completely blown away. And I'll actually go ahead and I'll share the actual TikToks that I've seen on it, because we need to have an honest conversation about that, right? I think that it's important that we talk about the things that are and have happened in our community, because once she got to explaining what it was, I was like, oh, I know a bunch of people that's like that right now. I actually know some brothers right now who literally married the woman that they're with because she could take care of him. That's scary. And here's the other thing that I learned too, when it comes to being a hospice care wife. A lot of the wives who are put in that position or who take on that responsibility are in the medical field. They're nurses, they're CNAs, they are RNs and LPNs. I find that to be disconcerting and quite alarming, that there are people that are out there that are literally hawking down women to marry because they can take care of them in their old age. I find that to be disgusting. But I want to find out what you know about it, or if you know anybody that has had that experience. This will be a really good way for us to start that conversation. And it's a hard one to have because, you know, some of us may be in that situation. Not me, because married I'm not. But I've heard of sisters who have been in it. I just didn't know that there was a name to it. All right. Now, let's talk about some other things that are happening right now in the Brownstone. Let me pull this up. You ready? You see that? That's Brownstone Living Magazine. When will it be available? Tomorrow. All right. We're going to start sending that out. If you would like to get your copy of Brownstone Living Magazine, all you got to do is sign up for the newsletter, quote unquote, the newsletter, and you're going to start getting this. Okay. It's going to be sent directly to your inbox once a month, and you'll be able to get all of the things. So what are some of the things that we're talking about in Brownstone Living Magazine this month? We, of course, are talking about KCCR, the Brownstone for the holidays, where you're listening to Sounds of the Seasons the entire month of December. You go over there now, and that's actually what's happening right now. We have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas with John Legend and Etta James. That's coming up next. We also have Donny Hathaway. We just missed that song, but I'm talking right now, so of course we would. You will also get some amazing information from Melanie Mumford on business credit versus personal credit, deals for the holidays, where you can get it on brownstonemarketplace.com, all of the things. Okay. So go ahead and get your copy today by registering at brownstoneworldwide.com. All you have to do is register. When that pop-up comes up, go ahead and provide us with the information, and we'll make sure that you get it. All right. Now, the other thing that I want to make sure that you guys know is that Brownstone Blends is still currently available over at brownstonemarketplace.com. Go ahead and check us out over there. If you use the code SPICE at checkout, there is a 20% discount that you will receive. Again, if you use your code SPICE at checkout, you can get 20% off brownstonemarketplace.com's very own Brownstone Blends. Big shout out to all of the businesses right now who are carrying Brownstone Blends in their stores. So shout out to you guys. We do appreciate your support of our wholesale prices and the business as a whole with Brownstone Blends. So super excited about that. All right. Now, up next, we have the Hot Lunch Mix that's going to be coming up. We kept that. We had to keep that, okay, so that you guys can go ahead and get your workout in and get some things done throughout your day. Be encouraged throughout the rest of your day today. Thank you so much for coming out and hanging out with us. I'm going to have more news and information for you guys throughout the day. Go ahead and check out brownstoneworldwide.com, and also go ahead and check out brownstonemarketplace.com for all of your holiday gifting, because we've got some stuff on there that you very well may want to order. And later on in the day, I am going to be sharing with you all some holiday gift baskets that will be available on Brownstone Marketplace. All right, you guys, I will see you all later. There are 3 things that I always like to tell you when it comes to Brownstone Worldwide. 1, live your life. Love your life. It is the only one that you have. Live your life to the fullest and embrace everything that is your life, because one day you're not going to be here. You might as well make some amazing memories. And lastly, breathe through every single moment. All right, you guys, go ahead and enjoy the rest of your day. I will see you on the other side of the Hot Lunch Mix. See you later.